So we go on up over through all these different levels of religion. We find the glories of Buddhism, the wonderful ideals and hopes of Zoroastrian philosophy. We learn the wisdom of the Greeks, the wisdom of the Latins. And we say to ourselves, why, as our neighbors say now, that these religions died because they were not strong enough to live. We lost the Greeks because they weren't strong enough to live. We lost the Egyptians because they were not strong enough to survive. They developed too many iniquities. But the truth is the entire opposite. We lost Egyptians because they were overcome by militant destroyers. They didn't die because of weakness. They died of assassination. They died when the Greeks died, when the Romans came in, and the Roman Greeks died when the Muslims came in. And the Muslims summed it up very simply. If it's in the Koran, we've got it already, and if it isn't in the Koran, we don't want it, burn it. This is not the sign that Egypt failed. It was a proof of inability of a single unit to survive the pressures of the rest. We do the same thing in our Christian life. The wars of Christianity, the crusades, one after another, the child crusades, in which thousands of infants went out and died in the desert. All these things are not because of God, are not because of evil beyond the guardians of Gog and Magog. These difficulties are due simply to the fact that we don't accept the fundamental fact that it is our business to clean this up, and it is not the business of heaven to receive our prayers and petitions, but to roll up our own sleeves and see that it doesn't happen again. And we have the same with wars all over. One group is down, has to be democratic, and the other group is democratic and doesn't like the Democrats. Everything is different. Everything is confused. A man gets up and someone contradicts him before he says anything. And this is all presumed to be inevitable and nothing you can do about it. The fact that it's not inevitable. And the real reason that nothing gets done about it is because people are not honorable, not honest, not fair, and not good-hearted. They are simply exploiting each other, and the exploitation ends in death. Not because a God or a devil is out there to do it. Because vibration destroys that which destroys it. When we put a bad vibration into a pattern, that pattern is gone. When we make a bad vibration in the human body, we sicken and die. When we become afflicted with a bad habit, drugs, and things of that nature, the body sickens and dies. Wherever we abuse civilization, it sickens and dies. Everywhere it is the integrities that have to live. And if we have those, we have nothing else to worry about. The problem is not to find a solution or some hero to stand up and tell us what to do. The hero may make his own rewards in the world to come. But we have to make ours by doing it ourselves. And that is what we find is facing us in the 21st century. We've got to get something out there that's some good, something that is more than profit, something that is more than finding new ways of exploiting natural resources. We've got to find ways of ending war, and we've got to find ways of bringing people to the realization that we live in an honest universe, and the only way we can live in it well is be honest ourselves. The day of the corrupt leaderships of the past, which we can read in any encyclopedia, in any history, the leaderships of tyranny, the leaderships of corruption, the leaderships of mass murder, all of these things have brought us where we are because we deserve to be there. But it's perfectly possible to change it. There is nothing about evil that good cannot remedy. There is nothing about the problems of the moment that wisdom cannot solve. if that wisdom is intelligent and constructive. Now we want to set up great systems to fight this corruption. We want to have special ways of doing it and make a great ado about it all. It's not that difficult. We don't need new courses on all this. We simply need basic intelligence. We need to take the courses we already have and put soul back into them. Because what the whole educational system, the political system, and the industrial system have lost their souls. They've lost their contact with the infinite good. And this infinite good is not necessarily a person. It is an energy, a principle, a vibration, something that has arisen in space long before our time. Where it came from, we do not know, but we are affirmed and tend to consider that whatever it is a sovereign good, and we can call that sovereign God, and we will not be far from the truth. For the infinite principle of good is worshipped by philosophy under the symbolism of God. But God is the one thing that nothing can pervert, nothing can injure, nothing can corrupt. Therefore, to stay on that side of the fence is to stay with security to the end of time. The days of corruption are numbered because we haven't the resources to preserve them. And the time now is very near when we're going to have to live ethically if we want to survive. And we do want to survive, and we will survive. But we would like to do this rather pleasantly. We would like to survive rather cheerfully, so that our children and their children will have a pleasant world to live in. We would like to work in a way in which there won't be any more wars, because there'll be no reason for them. We would like to have food for everyone instead of wasting it. We would like to have better living conditions instead of using almost all of our resources for weaponry. Quiet, simple people, ordinary people, working quietly together, can do what the giants have never been able to do. Give us a world worth living in. And as we do that, we climb up this stand of the vibrations, and we find that there's a vibration within our own bodies for each of these levels. Each of these levels reacts into us, because we are all planets. We are all solar systems. Small ones, yes, but the same general principle. And we can make the same corrections in ourselves that result from a wise viewpoint in larger matters. We can become peace-loving in our own natures. We can forgive our enemies and we won't have them anymore. We can be unselfish, and we can get away from a competitive arrogance in which we try to outwit and out-wisdom everybody else. The problem is not to do these things at all, just to daily keep the rules. Keep the rules that created us. Keep the destiny which confronts us. Continue to go on to do what is right and what we know should be done until it is done correctly. That will give us the new start and a new foundation for a better life than we've ever known here. There is no reason why a people as intelligent as the modern world cannot reorganize itself to keep harmony with the rules of its own salvation. We know these rules exist. We see people falling under them and trying to crawl out again. We see all these things failing from lack of integrity. But it hasn't occurred to us to try to improve the integrity. What we have tried to do is to find new ways of bolstering up our corruptions. It can't be done. We might as well get used to the idea and set to work to use the truths we know and the principles that we are learning to understand to become useful and become a help to our own kind. The more we do that is right, the better the future will be, and we will come into the new century with hope and understanding.